DUI case consecutive. That's 90 days in jail. The court is also going to order Dr.
But I was in Cannes. I was in Cannes at a film festival. I couldn't get back. It was beyond my control. Bullshit.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, your fresh, board-certified criminal defense lawyer. I'm here with my 24-karat gold shark cufflinks today because that means I'm in business. When you wear these cufflinks, you are business. That means we're doing business today. This is just Robert's idea, so if it doesn't work, it's your fucking fault, Robert. So it's called What Would Bruce Do? And we're going to kind of analyze, you know, a celebrity and the kind of shit that they went through, and we'll see what my advice to them would be compared to what actually happened and how they came out. And we're going to analyze Lindsay Lohan today. Lindsay Lohan. You know, when you're a lawyer, you want your work to mean something. Marshal somebody through change. Get, you know, over the hump of I'm a fuck up and, you know, I go to treatment, have it mean something. And it's sort of like the surgeon who did the transplant surgery on Mickey Mantle. You know, he gets them all well again, and then all of a sudden watch him walk out the hospital across the street to a bar, you know, to fuck up his liver again. Anyway, before we get to that, this is AskALawyer.com sponsored. AskALawyer.com is a really effective way to get good legal advice online for $49. It's not that expensive, and it can give you some peace of mind. You can get forward to go the next level to figure out what you need to do, or you can, oh, I don't have a case, good, that I can just move on. Or if you have your own legal research that you're doing, you know, they have an AI component trained on all the 50 states. You know, my grandma just spends an inordinate amount of time in the basement with her Cheeto stained underpants and her toenails. You know, what else is she going to do? You know, but she seems to think she's got some kind of legal theory on the Hoffa case. I don't know why she thinks that, but that's what she's doing in the basement. Go to AskALawyer.com. Okay, so this is What Would Bruce Do? A new game show created by Robert. So if it's not good, you make a comment about Robert.
Okay. Hi there. Well, you know, this costume is a favorite with New York City kids. This costume is stuff found on the floor of the D train. How are you? Are you having fun tonight? What's your name?
Lindsay.
So who is Lindsay Lohan anyway? Well, she's an actress, obviously born in the Bronx, from New York, and her career started at the age of 3. And what have we heard about child stars and how fucked up they are over time? You know, they tend to have a lot of problems with drugs, with losing their fame after, you know, their run goes. Remember Peter Brady, you know, from the Brady Bunch? I mean, I'm dating myself now. But I mean, he became a computer programmer and did all kinds of other things. Or Wayne Rogers. Remember Wayne Rogers from the show MASH? You probably don't, because you're probably a lot younger than me. And he was a fantastic character. But he was like, look, I'm making more money doing my finance thing than I am being an actor. And so, you know, there's more to life than fame. There's more to life than you know, the flash and the glitz and the glamour. But some people can't fucking handle it. So Lindsay did, you know, by the age of 12, she did over 60 TV commercials. She starred in, you know, The Parent Trap. Remember that? And I thought she was really good in that. And all kinds of other movies, you know, her Herbie and Freaky Friday and, you know, Mean Girls. You know, those are the films that I like to watch. Her personal life. This is coming from Robert. You know, and when you're, you know, like Robert, you're into whatever you're into, I guess. Like Lindsay Lohan. Fucking Robert. Hey, let's see. Her personal life has always been a topic of discussion. Why is that? Because she's always, you know, using. You know, how do you move to LA on your own at the age of 15? What parent would allow you to do that? You know, here, can I tell you something? Just lean in here for a second. There is no money, fame, opportunity that can replace family, that can replace your core who you are. I learned that my dad, when growing up, my dad worked 80 hours a week. He was fucking never home. Never home. I can count the times we played catch on one hand, you know. I coached every single one of Michael's teams. Basketball team, even though I didn't know shit about basketball. And his baseball teams all throughout the year. And then he skied. I could have been this hard-driving lawyer who's gone all the time. But, you know, I was the only ball game in town for him. And you know what? He died at 27 years old. And I have all those memories. You know, we have some negative memories because he, you know, used drugs like nobody's fucking business and got it off the dark web. And awful as that may be, I was there for him. I cannot tell you how much that stuff means to me. I can't imagine letting your fucking kid move to LA, of all places, at 15 years old on her own. And that family is really important, and the family is what keeps you out of the criminal element, to be honest with you. So Lohan says that following Mean Girls, she took to living out of hotels as soon as her reputation was that of a party girl. And especially with young ladies too. I mean, no party like a Diddy party, right? You can't I mention this stuff without, I mean, in Hollywood, and you know, Weinstein, you know, Harvey, I mean, he preyed on these people, and it just eats people and spits them out. You know, she's at the club scene. Here she is with Britney Spears and Paris Hilton. I mean, look at me, I'm famous. What difference does that make if you're on drugs? You want to know a good time for me? A snit of scotch, a bubble bath, and the Rockford Files. That is my jam. That's what, you know, there's so much lost being seen or having to be seen or being on the in crowd, or even in high school, you know, the popular kids, the not popular kids. You know, if you're a young person, which I'm not, as you know, look at these wrinkles. Don't be afraid to just be yourself. When you're not yourself, when you have to be that party girl, when you have to be that center of attention, when you have to be the person who has got to get noticed, you do it for the wrong reasons. And either you get used, or you make mistakes, or you make, you know, bad decisions. In July 2007, Lindsay Lohan was arrested in Beverly Hills for a DUI. It was the first time. And guess what happens when you're living the high life? You get busted. And you get busted doing stupid shit because you're not careful. You know, I will have to say, my daughter is probably the most well-preserved person I've ever met in my life with all the things we've gone through with Michael. Women in general mature faster than men because why? Because they have a womb to protect, right? They have the fear of getting pregnant. Men don't have anything like that. And they have a constant monthly reminder of it. And I may sound like a typical guy or whatever, but it's fucking true. It's absolutely true. And when you lose that inhibition, when you lose that self-protective thing, you know, Michael, he didn't fucking, nothing was, he was not afraid of anything. I was always afraid. My dad taught us about drugs when we were kids. He made us watch this video, and I saw this woman on a stretcher and, you know, doing all that, and it scared the shit out of me. I never tried drugs. I never would, you know, and so guess what? So in 2007, Lindsay Lohan's driving around drunk, and what do they find in her fucking car? They find cocaine. You know, one crime leads to another. 2 months later, she was arrested for another DUI. And again with cocaine in her car. Remember the fall from grace with Robert Downey Jr.? How much shit did he get into? Daryl Strawberry, you know, was before a judge. And he told the judge, I want to kill myself. One of the things that when you have a case like Lindsay Lohan, you know, where the client's constantly doing this, you got to get him into treatment. That's the only thing you can do. That's the only thing a judge will listen to. You get him into treatment, and sometimes even that doesn't work. I had a case where my client killed somebody accidentally. It was a drunk driving accident. The judge didn't even believe that she properly went through treatment because he questioned her about the 12 steps. And she stumbled on her words, and he says, you should know this like the back of your fucking hand. He didn't say fucking, but, you know, I gotta quit swearing. I swear too much. Sorry about that, guys. The judge said, you should have known this by now. And other judges would have seen her change and embraced it. The thing about it is, it all depends upon who you get on the bench, you know, for a judge. And it varies. You know, there's no set standard. It's not like everybody's treated the same. Some judges have a bias towards the defense. Some judges have a bias towards the prosecution. I know one judge who was a former prosecutor who's a complete bitch towards prosecutors because she thinks she's smarter than every prosecutor that comes from before her. So you start out in a case like Lindsay Lohan with, all right, We got somebody with a substance abuse problem. They get a DUI and then cocaine charge. Then they get another DUI and cocaine charge. So what do we do with them? Do we lock them up? So then she gets put on probation and gets all these conditions. And then you have to meet with probation. You have to drop UAs. You have to show compliance with treatment. So she misses several mandated classes and counseling sessions, citing work conflicts and personal issues. And the judge extends her probation. You know, you ever seen Goodfellas when they talk about pay me? You know, fuck you, pay me. Oh, your kids need braces? Fuck you, pay me. Oh, yeah, your car doesn't work? Fuck you, pay me.
Place got hit by lightning, huh? Fuck you, pay me.
That's basically what happens in court. You got a work conflict? Fuck you, meet your probation officer. You got other scheduling issues? Fuck you, complete treatment. Otherwise, what's the only alternative after that? Extend probation. Okay, well, you know, we understand, blah, blah. No, go to jail. I mean, that's the only alternative because it's the only hammer that the court has. In July 2010, she skipped a probation meeting from her 2007 DUI. So was on probation for 3 years. And that's because she's had cocaine. Claiming she was stuck in France after her passport was stolen, the judge issued a bench warrant. Here she is in court, getting the 90 days in jail.
Defendant is ordered to spend 30 days in jail.
What? 30 days? Oh my God, no, I can't. I'm Lindsay Lohan. And see, look at even her high-priced, high-powered lawyer can't keep her out of jail. People think that if you're a really good lawyer, you've got magic in your pocket. Guess what we can't do? We can't file a motion for new facts. Your Honor, I'd like to file a motion for new facts because these are really hurting my case. You know, you can't change who your client is. A lot of times the good results I get isn't because of me. It's because the client has done the heavy lifting. The client has done a remarkable change, and then I'm able to point that out. But if the client's a shitbag and doesn't change to be a decent person and continues, doesn't matter what I do because I can't change the facts.
On the reckless driving case.
Yeah, look at her freaking out. You know, I'm going to jail? You didn't tell me that. You know, I know a lawyer, he was trying a murder case one time and his client kept going like this, you know, during the trial. And they take a break and the lawyer stands up and he says, "Look, I didn't tell you how to kill your wife. You don't tell me how to do my job."
30 days in jail on the first DUI case consecutive.
Okay, let me ask you this. You see the surprise on her face? The lawyer should have prepared her better. You're going to go to jail, and the lawyer knows what's going to happen.
And 30 days in jail on the second DUI case consecutive. That's 90 days in jail. The court is also going to order Dr.
But I was in Cannes. I was in Cannes at a film festival. I couldn't get back. It was beyond my control. Bullshit.
Dr. Sharma, or appoint Dr. Sharma and Malinak, Kajal Sharma and Hyde Malinak, to interview the defendant because within 2 days of her release from jail, she's ordered to report to probation and she's ordered to do a 90-day inpatient substance abuse program.
That's 6 months. 90 days in jail and 90 days inpatient. That's 6 months. My career will be over. But let me tell you something about something like this. I almost wish Michael would have been caught and would have been put in jail. He'd probably be alive right now. Sometimes, you know, I've got a client right now who keeps getting busted and keeps getting busted for doing drugs. And she'll do anything. Little residue. And she's going to fucking die. So a little slap like this, 6 months is nothing out of somebody's life. It might seem a lot, but it really is a blip compared to the damage that you can do to yourself when you're on the street.
And I want Dr. Sharma and Malinak to indicate to the court and write a report to the program, as to probation, as to...
And look at her freaking out, and her lawyer can't do a goddamn thing about it.
the type of program that would best benefit her. I was tired of reading how basically she comes and goes when she feels like it, is what it sounds like. There's been a history of this ongoing.
You can't meet with the probation officer? Fuck you, meet with your probation officer. You know, that's what the judge is saying. Or you're going to go to jail. Well, now you fucked around and you're going to find out.
A number of excuses, and we went over that before, and so when it came back, I made it very clear, once a week. I didn't say 2 or 3 times a week, because it's been my understanding that you get the most out of the program by going once a week, and there would be no excuses. She had to go once a week.
In terms of going more than once in a week, some people, I know that I was ordered to go once a week, and it wasn't, you know, I wasn't missing the classes just to hang out or do anything like that. I was working mostly in Morocco, the trip. I was working with children. It wasn't a vacation. It wasn't some sort of a joke. And I respect her when I've been taking it seriously. And I appreciate.
See, that's where reality starts to bite. Everything you do today comes to roost tomorrow. So if you're on probation and you blow off your conditions, I'll get to it. You know, that whole I'll get to it never gets to it. Be proactive. Get it done before you're supposed to. Otherwise, you're going to get Lindsay Lohan.
Appreciate that Right On Programs has done so much to help me finish early, because I wanted to make sure that I would come back here making you happy and the court system, and show that I meant everything I put into it.
I was going to have her surrender today.
We call that forthwith. You're going to... That is... I love it. The lawyer knows all this shit. You know, the lawyer knows that, you know, look, there's a possibility she's going to take you in today. I'm going to do everything I can to keep you out, but you're going to go to fucking jail, and you're going to go in probably today. You know, and this shouldn't be a surprise to her, especially if this lawyer's, you know, worth her salt, which it seems like she is.
Time to come back to surrender.
Well, the scram bracelet will remain on until she surrenders.
The scram bracelet, you know what the scram bracelet is? That's a bracelet that you put on usually on your ankle. That's not huge. It's just looks like a watch. And it monitors whether or not you've had any alcohol. And it's not something that you blow into. It monitors your blood, and it does it continuously. When you have to blow, if I have to blow into the alcohol monitor 3 times a day, I could probably get away from from 10 p.m. to like say 3 a.m. And then if like at 8 a.m. it's probably all gone. You know, if I'm teetotaling, right? You can't do that with a scram bracelet. A scram bracelet is continuous monitor.
Do you understand and accept the terms and conditions of your probation?
Yes.
All right, that's the order. When are you asking?
BOOHOO. Give me a fucking break.
No. No.
You've had chance after chance after chance after chance. This is as real as it
Give
gets.
us 2 weeks.
All right, that would be surrender in this court, July 20th at 8:30. And the scram bracelet will be on until that date. And if the gentleman could come here that needs to remove the scram bracelet, it can be
See, look at the body language for Isn't there anything you can fucking do for me? Keep me out of jail, please. You know, and your heart does kind of break for somebody like this. You know, I'm not sitting here making fun of her. I'm kind of being a little jocular in what's going on, but it's really because, and this is with controlled substances constantly. People lie, they ignore their responsibilities, and no rules apply to them. You know, and then all of a sudden it comes home like this did. So that happens, and now she's booked for failing a drug test. So, I mean, sometimes they just don't get it, and they don't want to get it. And then after she stole, let's see, what is it? She stole a necklace worth $2,500 from Venice Beach jewelry store. She was charged with grand theft. Look, watch this.
This morning, actress Lindsay Lohan is now weighing whether to accept a plea deal that a judge here in California says will put the 24-year-old behind bars. Mike Van Frim has all the details.
Lindsay Lohan chose to wear a more conservative attire as she entered the court. The actress is in the excruciating position of facing new felony theft charges while still being on probation for a DUI conviction.
So what happens is, if you get a new charge while you have a pending charge, that can be a basis for what? A probation violation, because one of your conditions is to remain law-abiding. And you get a double whammy, or they can be concurrent.
You plead in front of me, you are going to jail, period. Do you ever understand everything I've indicated?
Yes, Your Honor.
TMZ reports prosecutors made Lohan's lawyer an offer to send the actress to 6 months in jail in return for pleading no contest or guilty to stealing the necklace. Lohan says no deal. She has the right to a jury trial, but it is a tremendous risk for the actress.
And the reason it's a tremendous risk is because a lot of times, what do they take into account? If you're convicted, acceptance of responsibility. And if you don't plead, and it's called a trial tax, you can be treated more harshly. Sometimes it's not true, but most of the time it's true.
Sure, Sean Chapman-Hawley does not want to see Lindsay Lohan take the stand and see her impeached with all of her prior bad acts.
In addition to the DUI charges, Lohan has a history of unproven theft allegations, which could be raised if she goes to trial. In 2008, she was sued for stealing a $12,000 fur coat at a New York nightclub, but charges were dropped. In 2009, a necklace and earrings worth more than $400,000 went missing during her photo session with Elle magazine. In 2010, Lohan was questioned but never charged over a missing $35,000 Rolex watch.
That's major. That's fucking major shit, right? $400,000 in jewelry. I don't know the facts of what's going to go on there, and I'm not going to really comment on it. But I will tell you this. Behavior like this, it comes from entitlement, and it comes from not having to answer, and it comes from just a sense that the rules don't apply to you. And drug addicts are that way like nobody's business.
Because she's on probation, the judge would have the discretion of holding Lohan in jail during the new trial.
Not only is the system treating Lindsay as anybody else.
So one of the things, like if you have a pending charge, a new charge, and that's a violation of your probation, well, you're entitled to bail on the new charge. But if the judge could hold you on the old charge without bail because you've already been sentenced.
Lindsay is acting like any other criminal. It's very common for someone to be on probation for one case and find themselves accounting for their actions on a new case as well.
One small consolation, jails are so overcrowded here in California that if Lohan is sentenced to 6 months, experts say she could be released in just 30 days. Robin?
No, that judge was firm yesterday.
Firm. I think we just got Robert excited when I said firm. Then you get these conditions, right? And you're supposed to do community service, or you're supposed to do X, Y, or Z. And, and this can be a revolving door with the jail because you don't do it. So she's revoked later on for failing to do community service, which is just stupid because community service is the easiest thing to do.
What I said, and I was really clear, is that she needed to get off the stick, start doing that community service, because I wasn't going to hear 1 year from April 22nd that she had no time because of work. That if she got on a movie, she is supposed to be an actress, from what I hear.
Yes.
I don't know how much acting work she's done or is doing, but there were notices in the newspaper she was due to appear in some film based on John Gotti or something. So what I said was, if in fact she's got a film coming up, she better do this community service now, because I will not hear later that, I was on a film and I couldn't get it done. A year is a generous amount of time. And the way I can count, she's got 57 out of those 60 days left to do. Okay? Not great at math.
60 days of community service is actually a lot. Think about it. Think if you have to do 60 days in a year and you have a full-time job. When are you going to do it? On the weekends? Okay, try to fit 60 days in a weekend. How many weeks are there in a year? 52. So you got 104 days that you could do It can be done, but if you're working full time, it's still very difficult to do.
But that's what I'm counting, because I'm not counting that Red Cross little marathon she tried to do this week, because that was not my sentence. Okay. So 57 days out of 60, and we are 6 months into this sentence. Miss Lohan's actions deliberately made it impossible for her to perform her sentence at the Downtown Women's Center. Probation, as you know, and as the prosecutor knows, and it has always been my view, is a gift. And there's something called looking a gift horse in the mouth. I am revoking her probation pending a hearing. I am also setting bail at $100,000. And Ms. Lohan, if Ms. Lohan bails out, she is to immediately, before the next hearing, if she wants to mitigate any potential sentence, if she's found in violation, do a minimum of 16 hours at the morgue. And that's 2 days a week between now and the hearing.
16 hours at the morgue? Would you just lay down in a drawer? No, I think the idea is volunteer at the morgue so you can see the impact of drugs.
The hearing date.
Your Honor, the bail bondsman is here, so
surprised.
can she remain?
No, take her into
Can she
custody.
remain here in this?
It's up to the sheriffs. I don't tell sheriffs where to put people. I'll see everybody back here November 2nd. People, have your ducks lined up. I want witnesses. If you're going to have...
All for what? All this effort. DUI, drug possession, DUI, drug possession, theft. All for what? And then now you're going back into jail. Think about your consequences before you act.
You're going to have a hearing unless you have some sort of stipulation that both of you have reached prior to that date.
It's just sad when you watch this. I didn't know she did all this. Thanks, Robert.
Yeah, boy.
All right. So then that was 2011. So in 2012, pleaded no contest to crimes of reckless driving and lying to police. You can't lie to the police. You're better off saying nothing. What's your name? I don't answer questions. What's your name? I don't answer questions. What did you just do? I don't answer questions. Where are you going? I don't answer questions. This stemmed from a 2012 incident where she crashed her car, ostensibly out of the influence, but who knows? You have a high-profile celebrity who is unable to stay out of trouble. Period. And that's tough. Repeated DUIs, drug possession, constant probation violations. How would Bruce keep Lindsay Lohan out of prison? You can't. I mean, you coach her to do the best job she can in treatment, to stay fucking sober. And one of the things that I have an open door policy. Some people, my family kind of doesn't like it so much because my phone rings constantly. But, if somebody wants to get a hold of me, they can get a hold of me 24/7. I give my clients my cell phone number. So if they have trouble or if they need help with something or if they have a question, they can get a hold of me. And then when I see this a lot in meth cases, because the meth is the one thing that destroys the brain more than anything else, I think. And it's just tough to see this. It just really is. So Sean Chapman Hawley, her high-profile criminal defense lawyer, she's representing Kardashian, Tupac, Snoop Dogg, Paris Hilton, and many more. She helped Lohan get her probation extended, but she did jail time. She had to do jail time. There's nothing I don't care how high profile your lawyer is. I don't care how talented your lawyer is. The lawyer cannot change the facts. The lawyer cannot ensure that you stay sober. Only you can do that. So Holly submitted documentation to validate Lohan's community service, big deal, including controversial submission like fan meet and greet events. I wouldn't have submitted that. I would say try again. I probably would have had one of my other felons kind of forge some stuff for her. No, I wouldn't do that. No. So she appealed the judge's denial of bail in a probation violation case, a move considered legally unusual at the time. That's just a way for the lawyer to bill some extra money, in all honesty. And it didn't go well for her. I guarantee it. So this clip is entitled, "Don't Push Your Luck." Fuck.
Miss Lohan, is that your true name?
Yes, sir.
You're charged in count 1 with grand theft of personal property in violation of Penal Code Section 487A as a felony. Property in this case is alleged to have a value of $2,500, to wit, a necklace. Do you understand the nature of the charges in count 1?
She does, Your Honor. We'd waive formal reading of the complaint statement of rights and enter a plea of not guilty.
I'm trying to put this as polite as possible because of all of the media interest here, but you need to understand, I've talked to your attorney and the DA's in chambers, and Ms. Chapman Hawley can explain to you what I'm telling you if you don't understand everything that I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it in a polite version. You're in a different situation now that a felony has been filed against you. And although...
Let me put it in plain, simple language that the judge doesn't want to say for public consumption. You're dancing in the head of a motherfucking pin. And if you take one step in either direction, you're going to land in jail. Prison, in fact.
And although the people have been courteous in this court's opinion and only...
Okay, I'll translate. Although people have been courteous, although people have been kissing your fucking celebrity ass for too goddamn long...
and only requesting $20,000 in the probation violation.
In other words, they are really not asking for shit for you. I would have held you without bail.
You now have a pending felony case. So in the interim...
You're going to get fucked here in the ass in prison.
Interim, while this case is percolating till a resolution is reached, if you violate the law, I will remand you and set no bail.
If you fuck up again, your ass is mine.
And your attorney won't be as successful this time on the habeas petition that they ran before, because a felony is a different situation, and you're not entitled to bail. So what I'm telling you is you need...
Bye-bye.
So what I'm telling you is you need to follow the laws just like everybody else. Look around this room. Everyone in this room has to follow the law. The court, the DA, your attorney, the sheriff's deputies, everybody. You're no different than anyone else. So please.
I implore you. I don't want to have to fuck you over as hard as I want to. But I will if you don't cop on.
Don't push your luck. Because I'm telling you, well, your attorney can tell you what I said. But I'm telling you, things will be different. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
Yes, sir.
So, God, I just don't get this. So you got DUI, cocaine, probation violations, necklace theft, probation violation, and reckless driving. She avoided, I mean, she's only served 90 days or so. And on the jewelry theft, short confinement, avoided formal jail. Unbelievable, honestly, when you think about this. And it's just sad because what does it all stem from? Likely chemical use and a sense of entitlement. Her 2007 DUI, she had a one-day sentence and only served 84 minutes because of overcrowding. When she was sentenced to 90 days in jail in 2010 from her DUI and her probation violation, she only served 14 days because of overcrowding and good behavior credits. In 2011, she was sentenced to another 90 days for a probation violation from her necklace theft case, but this time she served less than 5 hours due to overcrowding. Fucking A, that's crazy. So in Minnesota, we've gotten the 50% law changed, I think, in prison, so you do half the amount of time if you get good time credit. In Wisconsin, you do all your time. There's no good time credit. California is a different animal for damn sure. The threat of jail has no teeth in California. Because if you're threatened to do 90 days in jail and you do 5 hours, how is that going to be any kind of threat to anybody? The real hammer is the clanging door therapy that you're going to experience if you violate your conditions of probation. Well, that threat really isn't there because you're ordered to do 90 days, and you do, or you're ordered to do a day, and you do 84 minutes. So, I mean, what's the long and short of this? I mean, she recovered a little bit from her career, but when's the last movie she did? I don't even know. And apparently she married somebody and now lives in Dubai. Good for her. That's probably a good place for you. But, a lot of times people age out of this kind of stuff, and if you don't, then you wind up, look at Heather Locklear, between her alcohol and fall from grace. I mean, she looks like shit. I mean, not that everybody needs to look awesome, but it's just between mental illness and drug addiction, our system is just absolutely littered with problems and clogged up. You know, so in California, they can't issue the sanction that they want to issue. So my point is that if you are struggling, meet the struggle where it is. You know, don't be, you know, a Lindsay Lohan, you know, a repeat offender. So apparently I stand corrected, and she was just released a movie called Freaker Friday. I hope she's well. You know, hopefully her taking herself out of that scene, you know, the party scene, the whatever scene, you know, has kind of saved her career maybe a little bit and saved her life. I don't know who this dude she married, what's his name, Badar Shammas, who the fuck that is. You can have that life. I'm about being real with real people, and you guys are real people, and you know, and struggling with drug addiction is real. It absolutely is real. I feel like I need to go take a shower now after all this. Now, her lawyer did a good job, but her lawyer's hands were tied, you know, by the conduct of her client. I mean, her lawyer didn't do anything great. I mean, she had to just stand there and take a pistol whipping, basically. You know, oh yeah, here's my client, she's fucked up again. Here's my client, she's fucked. If she didn't like try a case and win, you know, she just, you know, was able to keep her out of jail. But you know what? She wasn't going to jail anyway. You know, I mean, it is what it is. So we'll see you next time here in Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on Instagram, go to Facebook, because we're going to start posting older videos on Facebook, and some of them are pretty good. Not patting myself on the back. It's just Michael's editing was superior to anything that I could do. So, and make sure you go to clrbrucerivers.com for all your merch needs, huh? You know, you have some birthdays coming up, graduation, anniversary, whatever you got. So go to clrbrucerivers.com, and we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. 23-hour lockdown, please, is that my God.